Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Penalty Loop Podcast, a podcast about biathlon by Jordan Gottschalk from Penalty Loop and a regular guest, RJ Weiss from Biathlon Analytics.
RJ, you look a little bit like how you did last time I saw you in Oslo. You were bundled up in your puffy jacket. It must be pretty chilly in your basement.
No, actually, it's cold in the basement, but the weather's crazy because last Thursday we went skiing and it was still around zero, a little above, and today was plus 20.
Ooh!
So it's
warming up fast.
You know, we get a couple of fake spring seasons here. Just by the time you're like, yeah, maybe I should just start hacking away the snow in the front and that kind of thing. And then a week later, you have another snowfall. And
well,
my first year was crazy because I had snow every month.
That's a lot of snow. That's too much.
Even in June, my parents were visiting, and we had it was just some wet snow, of course. But
doesn't matter. July, August, I don't want to think about it. Well, we were in the pool today, so that's how our spring's going.
Yeah, but you can be in the pool every day throughout the year.
True. As long as it's heated, yeah. we got...
I mean, there were people swimming in the bay in Oslo a couple of weeks ago.
But for our the kids, they've been agitating about it for a while. So honestly, the biggest problem is just getting it cleaned up because of all the pollen that falls into it. So
make sure there's no alligators.
Yeah, we got to make sure the gators are
hibernating in there.
This is true. Yep.
Do you have a lot of snakes?
A lot of snakes. Yeah.
But coming in the house and that kind of thing?
Not in the house so much, but you just see them out in the yard. We got a bunch of black racers that live nearby, and just watch them just slither off of our patio when we come outside. That's about it. We got a lot of lizards.
You said racers?
Racers, yeah. They're long black snakes. They're not really harmful. They're just very fast. That's why they're called racers.
So when you say not really harmful, what?
They can bite you, but there's not really any poison. You would get bit, and you'd kind of be irritated that you got bit by a snake, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I'd be dead. Go to the hospital.
That's
yeah. There are a bunch of rattlesnakes and whatnot that you have to watch out for, but we've never seen them around us. No, we just have we have cuddly black bears that hang out on trees and like to go through the garbage cans, and we have alligators. Those are big. And I guess we
raccoons?
Have some raccoons, plenty of raccoons. We got bald eagles. We got hawks, river otters that hang out all around the neighborhood. It's pretty cool. It's a nice little area.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with what we're
absolutely nothing.
About.
There was a bridge because I wanted to say there were no snakes in Oslo.
Yeah, there were no snakes in Oslo. This is true. No. I didn't see a whole lot of really anything besides squirrels and birds and extremely athletic biathletes.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
how was your first week been without biathlon?
Sad. I didn't really watch much of the national championships. We had a bunch of stuff going on last weekend, and I didn't pay very much attention this week. A couple of news items. I actually was not even really on social media at all for a couple of days, which is strange for me. But
did you start getting emails from them?
Yeah, we haven't received any posts recently. What's wrong with you? No, popped back on. I think on Thursday or Friday. Started getting more active again. I needed a little detox.
That's always my last line of communication with you. If I don't get responses from you in messages and then not in emails, then I'm like, I better shoot him a message on Twitter.
Yes, that's where you know where to find me. Oh man. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Funny story, actually. I don't have any alarms or dings or anything on my phone. It'll vibrate if somebody calls me, but that's it. And I just anticipate that I am so addicted to social media or whatever that I will pull out my phone enough times that I will be able to respond in a timely manner most of the time. That obviously doesn't work out all the time, as you have found out, because there have been times where you've texted me and 6 hours go by or something.
But now I know I just need to call you.
Yeah, you just need to call me.
Let it ring twice and then just stopping.
Hey, and I'm really smart about it too. I have Katie's set to a different vibration, so when that one goes, I'm like, oh, I really need to pick up this. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to figure that one out.
Yeah, you just need to find a way to use her number. Yep.
Okay.
Well,
what are you doing January 19th?
What am I doing on January 19th?
Yeah.
Of next year?
Yeah. Nothing, right?
Well, that's not entirely true, but I'll tell you later. What's going on?
Oh, there just seems to be something happening in Novo Mesto.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah.
Will you be there?
Well, I don't know. That depends on the answer to your question. No, I don't know. No, it would be cool.
I would love to go.
Yeah.
You know that is high on my list of places to be. I think I would love to be there. I think it'd be a great family trip.
Do they have Worlds anytime soon?
Well, they just did. They just had Worlds last year.
Duh. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly that kind of goes out of your mind, though, right?
I just didn't think about it. But because I do remember that, mostly because I remember that the Czechs weren't performing as they would have liked to, and then the Swiss, although they had a good Worlds, but not what they hoped, and then they had a really like the Czechs were really good after Worlds last year, and then this year the Swiss were really good after.
Yep, it's a lot of stress. Kind of hope that the Americans never host Worlds. Not that I ever have to worry about that because it's just never going to happen, but.
Oh, never say never.
Yeah, we got Max Cobb. He'll push it over here at some point. I guess we got the Olympics in 2034.
Well, we can't complain with having the season finale in Camera last year, and then they're coming back again in a couple of years, right?
Yep.
And that's at the end of the season too, I believe.
IBU Cup next year in Lake Placid for a couple of weeks.
Right. And then 2029. Ooh, that's long.
It's really not. It's only 4 years.
True.
Yep. We've waited longer than that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was going to say this a few minutes ago, but last episode we talked about a bunch of stuff, mostly our memories and our experiences in Oslo. We didn't really mention a whole lot from the actual races. And in the days afterwards, I thought of a whole bunch of people and events that we didn't mention. That was pretty intentional, I think, to just talk about what we experienced being out there, the people we met, and all the fun stuff. But was there anything specifically from the weekend of racing that we didn't talk about that you have just been agitating to get into?
More maybe in the sense that I have been rewatching some races or watching some races that I hadn't seen, and made me realize when you are there, you're very aware of the winner and the top athletes. But there's also a lot of things that kind of I never even knew, like top tens of other athletes that either are well known, or the fact that Jakob Fock outsprinted JT Bow in the last race. It kind of escaped me. So things like that, it's like I always feel in hockey, like I've been going to some Flames games here, and it's fun because you get that experience and the excitement of the crowd. But I always feel that if you really want to follow the game, you need to just either watch it on TV, or I find that if you're really up high in bleachers in big stadiums, then you can, like, you're far away enough from the on ice excitement. Yeah. And you can kind of see the flow of the game a bit better. But I had one time where a friend who had company tickets that were right by the window, basically in a corner. And yeah, sure, it's nice that you can actually hear the players and smell their sweat and stuff. But to follow the game, it really, unless there's, they come in from the right angle towards the net that you're sitting close to. Yeah. So that's more something that stood out to me, where I'm like, wow, I actually, you really live certain things really intensely, but then there's a lot of things you kind of miss. And it was also because, we were scrambling to get to the media center and then just waiting there and stuff. And there was sort of a screen that I could see with a lot of reflection and, basically had to lean over really far to see. Yes. But yeah, you missed a lot of stuff and, you look at results on your phone, but so that wasn't quite the same. So
it's really hard to absorb it when you're looking at your phone, because you're looking at your phone, but you're hearing everything else going around you. And you're like, oh, I need to be paying attention to this other thing. I should be taking it in right in front of me. And no, I agree. And even just now I pulled up on the app, I just pulled up some of the finishes, like, oh, I forgot that she finished in ninth. Right.
I know. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was a really good race. Oh, but it just sort of didn't absorb. And I think especially too, because when I think about the women's races being so intensely focused on, especially the top two women, with Jeanmonnot and Preuss, and trying to do the calculations and thinking about how it was going to affect the next race, I unfortunately sort of didn't absorb some of the things that I kind of wish I would have. Whereas watching at home, you watch it and you just see it differently.
Yeah. You pull up the iPad and
yeah, you got all the data in front of you, and you spend more time just looking at the numbers because you're not running around trying to talk to people.
Yeah. No, and I do like I said, the things I do remember, I remember quite vividly.
Yes.
And not just I remember really, really clearly when I saw that Emma Lunder was qualified for the pursuit as well.
Yeah. So
that that the sprint wasn't going to be your last race. So those things just, I don't know, are engraved. But yeah, so it's a nice thing is that you can sort of relive it from a TV spectator perspective.
It's also different anytime you go back and rewatch, because you already know the result, right?
Yeah,
and if good and bad, because you know the result for like the top, but also you can go back and pay more attention to things that happened other places. Be like, oh, I wonder what happened to Amy Becerra in this race, or I just want to watch what happened there.
Right.
So that can be kind of fun too.
And I've always had this weird of not puzzling per se, but like when you go to a certain area of a city, because you have like a soccer game or whatever, and then you go to a different area for a shop in a different area, and then one day you're in an area that and then you drive through 2 streets and then you end up in another area, so it kind of fills in the blank. And I really felt that with watching the races in Oslo, now that I've been there, that you have a way better picture of where what is and how it's connected and where the audience crosses the tracks and the tunnel and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So that was really cool.
I've had that exact same experience. Yeah. Like, oh, I know where that is now. And there were some things I was like, that is, in all the years watching on TV, I had this one mental image, and now knowing it, I'm like, that was completely wrong. It was just,
I know. Yeah. And even like the steepness of certain areas or
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely, I have to dive under my desk again because I kicked out my cable.
And, for me in particular, it's that last climb where they come around, they come down into the stadium. And first of all, that whole long, down slope into the stadium, for me, my mental picture was wrong of the angle of where that was or how it was going into the stadium. But then that last climb up where they go around behind the range, it's actually steeper than I thought it was. In my mind, it was
and longer.
In my mind, it was like, oh, it's this little rise that they have to climb, but there's not a whole lot that can happen there. It's like, no, it's
well, even
if you're not ready for it.
before that section.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a banked.
Yes.
24 hours of Le Mans. No, not Le Mans. What's Daytona?
Yes.
Yeah. And that stretch, the stretch that they're on before they turn left around the corner where Lou fell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In my head, that was way longer and just straight and flat.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
not at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way the camera shoots it, though, it feels longer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it was super cool.
Another thing, too, is now knowing where the cameras are and knowing how they, the angles of the camera how that plays a role, and the way you view it. Yeah, it totally changed the way I'm going to watch those races now. Well, maybe it'll change the way I watch the races because I'm just always there now. But I wish.
So, if you were there every race, then it just becomes boring.
That's why we got to go to Nova Mesto and Ruhpolding and
one at a time
and everywhere. So, thinking about the actual races, there was one name that stood out to me that I was like, hey, I wanted to mention this, and I totally forgot to. And because being there at the time, we saw her name a lot, and it was Idalene. There was this one particular person who was selling these bibs. They were like the Idalene fan club bibs. And he came up to me. It's like, oh, do you want one? I was like, sure. And he goes, well, I have to charge you for it. I was like, well, then I don't really want it anymore.
That's how sales works in Norway. Eh? Here, you want this?
But yeah, so we saw a handful of those bibs around, and it was really nice that she closed out the season with 2 fourth place finishes. Just missed the podium by a handful of seconds each time, but
and I'll be the first to admit. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it was really nice to see the amount of support that she had there. I didn't necessarily expect it, but she was definitely a fan favorite. Not that I think that she shouldn't be. I just didn't anticipate that level of support.
Yeah. Well, she's been on the team she's been off and on lately, but she's been on the team for a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I was going to say a couple episodes ago, I think I asked you if you had to pick one of Juni, Arne Clive, and Idalene to go to Worlds.
And she made me look very smart.
Juni, Arne Clive, but you picked the right one. I mean,
she made me look good.
What Arne Clive would have done, but
sure, yeah,
that would have been very hard to beat for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it made me very happy that she was able to close out the season so strong.
Mm-hmm.
One of the projects I had and was to go through and look at the top 10s for each trimester, and she actually made the top 10 for the third trimester. She was 10th, but it's not an insignificant amount of time, and I think she's finding herself again. That'd be nice. I mean,
yeah, and it's when you think about it, the Norwegian team in the last 2 seasons hasn't been the strongest they've ever had. Mm-hmm. So it would be great if she can
get Maren, Shirkaida, continuing to improve. Tangervold. Yep. It's not an awful situation.
No, for sure. What have you thought of any other things about Oslo that you completely forgot about, or
that I completely forgot about,
or even like people we talked to, or?
I think that we mentioned the Belgian couple that we talked to on the third day. Do we mention the Simone Kaiser interaction?
Yes.
Okay, let's say that was funny.
Where we kind of rude and say,
yeah. Justus Strella was really nice. Talking to him after the sprint, I really appreciated him. Just getting to chat with him for a few minutes.
No, and I remembered one thing that I had mentioned, and that kind of almost surprised me, but it also made me realize that a lot of people that are at the World Cup are just there for work, not maybe necessarily for the love of biathlon, because I was always surprised how busy the media center was no matter what time you walked in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which really made me think that some of those people just spend the whole day there just writing articles and...
Oh, yeah.
I guess they follow the race on the screen probably, but...
Well, I talked to a couple of the people in there, and that's exactly what they did, is because they had such a timeline of when they had to get the articles out by, that they really needed to be in there, at least writing parts of them or getting their notes together so that as soon as it was over, they could write it, run out, get some quotes, then come back in and finish it up.
But I think even people that were not necessarily interviewing athletes, it seemed like... But I also saw a couple that were also covering, well, at least watching downhill skiing or whatever other sports that they were probably writing about too. So, yeah.
That's a hard job. And I'm glad that we just get to do it just for fun. Just get to have
Yeah.
Right.
We're like, nah. If we want to hang out there, we hang out there. And if not, then...
Exactly. We'll go get a sunburn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really... definitely feels more that it's been a long time already.
It does.
It's hard to picture that 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago we were there.
And every, we get a little bit further away, and it's like some moments get like crystallized more and more in my head, and I can feel other ones just like turning into mist and just slipping out of my head.
Right.
The further away we get, like the more strongly entrenched the memories of watching the last, like the mass start for the women's race become, and just every moment of the shooting and the anxiety that came with it, and then the entire last lap, everything that happened afterwards. I just feel like that.
I still get tense when I just think about it.
It was,
now that I've seen the race also with, the TV stream and stuff.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know how those women did that. Just knowing the amount of pressure.
That last shooting.
Yeah. It's incredible. I love...
And the commentator says it exactly right. Where they're like, even if you would submit this as a script to Hollywood, it would be cool to do that. They're like, yeah, come on, that's a little over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then I think especially with that they didn't go through the shootings the same. Like it's not like they both had one miss and then no misses, and so there's even
they had their misses at different times, and
yeah.
I can't get over it. And then watching them at the finish, it just doesn't seem real.
That's the deepest.
Yeah.
The emotional tie to that, and just it kind of sums up the weekend that we had, the beauty of the sport, but also, like, if anything, the love for the sport I have was sort of confirmed, and just for how so respectful they were to each other. And I mean, I don't know if they hang out together or hung out before the season. I get the sense Preuss is a pretty introverted person, who I would think, even not having seen her in Oslo, that she's a super nice person to anybody, but also likes her space. And then I get the impression that Jeanmonnot is a bit more, life enjoying is not, that would suggest that Preuss doesn't. But anyway, the fact how they're so respectful to each other, and knowing Preuss's history with injuries and being sick and stuff, and then finally winning and not even feeling comfortable raising your hands and just being concerned about your direct opponent and feeling sorry for her. And I don't know. I can't really think of many other sports where you sort of see that camaraderie and respect. I'm sure there are, but
I just didn't manage this corner as I wanted. I thought I had a lead, just a 1 meter leading above Franziska. So that's why I take this corner in the short away, and finally she closes the door because she could too. That's what I would have done if I were her. I think it's disappointing for both of us, because she did not celebrate properly after last meters, and I could not fight, and that's what's making me really angry and disappointed and sad.
But you have had an incredible season. What do you think by yourself?
I know I will enjoy it later.
Merci.
Ali, hey Lou, I just want to tell you one thing. I am so happy that my daughter gets to grow up watching you compete. You were an amazing role model for her, and it just makes me really happy that she has a long time left to keep watching you. So thank you. Just keep on being you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're the lady.
That's pretty amazing, though. I mentioned to you maybe on podcasts as well that one of my worries for Preuss is that if she hadn't won the overall, that she would maybe not be remembered as just why not remembered. People would remember her. They would think, oh yeah, she was really good, but not her overall profile, right? As you got 20, 25 years down the road, it wouldn't be one of those first names that you draw to mind. And because she didn't have that one big moment, it was kind of like a lost, a what if career. Well, we're so far beyond that, because not only will she be remembered because she has the overall, I think she and Jeanmonnot are going to be remembered forever because of that moment, right? That moment like they are going to be tied together for as long as people are watching biathlon because of that moment. It just doesn't really happen like that. Like you said, it's an impossible Hollywood ending, Hollywood story. And of course, I mean, the story's not over because we still have to see what goes the rest of the way. It's one of those things where I think that Jeanmonnot now has about 82 million more fans than she did a couple of weeks ago. Not that people didn't like her, but I think that now even more so people are going to be wanting her to win an overall because getting that close twice. I just that, like I said, that moment is just getting more and more crystallized in my head. And
think about it. If you ever talk to a biathlon fan 20 years from now,
we were there.
This must be still one of the highlights, and we were right there. That's just incredible.
But
obviously, if it would have come down to the sprint finish, photo finish, or whatever, I guess, because otherwise I can't think of a way to top it ever.
That's it. That's
I guess maybe 3 athletes that still, but I mean, like within reason.
It's pretty wild.
Okay, 2 questions.
Okay.
Franziska, what are your feelings right now?
It still feels unreal. So today was really emotional, also with this special situation in the Finnish area, and but now it's over. And I'm the winner of today's race, and this means a lot to me.
And how are you going to celebrate this?
First of all, we will watch the boys. I think there will be a big show with the 2 big, amazing athletes, Johannes and Tarje. So I'm really looking forward to cheer for them, see them racing the last time, and afterwards we will see.
Can you describe your feelings? What you mean for you? You were very unlucky in the past. Finally, you win the World Cup.
Yeah, I think maybe the biggest success is that I stayed healthy the whole season. So this I really appreciate, and I'm so thankful for this. Crazy season.
What did you feel when you saw what happened on the last lap?
First of all, I was.
Did you see it?
The crash or what?
Yeah, the crash.
No, I still haven't seen the race. I will, of course, I will have a look later on this. So for now, I trust the jury that they did the right decision. And Lou already told me in the finish line that I don't touched her. It was her own fault because she got her pole into the ski, and so I trust them. So they decided this, and I think it's fine.
That and then of course we saw, at the time we didn't know that it was, but we saw J2 Bo's last victory, and that one stuck with me as well. It just be like, hey, we were there. Like, we got to talk to him afterwards, and that was a pretty amazing experience that we can always say, hey, we were right there. We saw it happen. Johannes, you've been answering questions for about an hour and a half now.
Yes.
You must be ready to go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, no kidding. So, we hopefully we have some questions for you that you have not been asked yet.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the United States, in the NFL, after the Super Bowl, they ask, the winning team, they go to the MVP and they say, what are you doing? And they say, I'm going to Disney World. So, what would be your version of that?
I guess Disney World would be nice for our family as well. So,
so that was actually going to be my follow-up question was, if you were to go to Disney World, what would be the first ride you'd want to do?
I don't really like the roller coasters at all.
Okay.
So I guess I would just follow my kids for the
Good answer.
small ones.
Yeah.
And just be there. It looks crazy. I've seen pictures, videos, and I think it's like on the bucket list for our family.
Yeah. Well, if you need a tour guide, I live in Orlando, so I'd be happy to show you guys around.
Thanks.
So we're both dads, and one of the things, they having kids, they can be pretty rambunctious, right? They got a lot of things that they want to do. Are there things that you have not been able to do because of being a professional athlete that, being a dad, you really want to be able to do with them now?
Yeah, it's a lot of things, I think. Especially during winter, I haven't been able to join him for his first ski races this year. And being outside in Christmas break to make the snow caves and snowman, and because we are out skiing and we can't be sick to be out so long. So it's all the small things, I guess.
Yeah. I say, when listening to your press conference when you announce your retirement and hearing you talk about your kids, just knowing those feelings I have as a dad, it actually made me tear up. Just thinking about how happy I am for you that you now get to be able to go do all those things. So I'm really happy for you.
Thanks a lot.
It's too bad that Tarjei followed your tactics of getting sick and then being strong next week, because he planned it the wrong way.
Not the matter, but hopefully he can be there on Sunday. That'd be nice.
No,
is he doing okay?
Yeah, he has fever, 39 degrees, so it's quite heavy. But he had it yesterday, and if you have it quite hard for 2-3 days, the 4th day is Sunday. So fingers crossed that he can be here to start the race and then see. Yeah, I think he will not fight for a win with his shape, but it would be nice to see him.
Absolutely. I was putting pressure on Sturla because we've been keeping track of the isolated pursuit.
Yeah.
We made a little globe.
Yeah.
So I told him he can still win that tomorrow, but you can too.
Okay.
Just a little bit of extra
that's
pressure.
A good start.
So we'll be here to give you an extra globe.
Congratulations.
Well, you shook his hand, Tarjei.
That's true. Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah.
And where you're like, blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't that bad.
Sorry. No.
I got words out.
It's just not often I see you lost for words.
Yeah. That was it, though. That was it.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect. I had no expectation that all of a sudden he was going to turn around and. Yeah.
No. Well, and not a hint of oh God, another guy,
Yeah.
Just a genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't give him a hug. I should have given him a hug, but I didn't.
Well, that might have brought out security.
Yeah.
I guess I could have pretended to be security with my bright green yellowish jacket.
Excuse me, sir. Please leave him alone. Before we move on, were there any people that we didn't talk to, or any questions that we didn't ask that you wish that we would have?
Well, you'd planned a question to Preuss, right? Where because her dog played with the medal from the World Championships, and you were going to ask if that would have been fun to see how she would respond to that.
Yeah,
because it clearly, I would assume that that's not a question she'd heard before. So,
and I get it. Everybody had to ask, but it was in that moment of where we were. We had sort of a group interview with her.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard because everybody was just sort of asking the questions that, of course, you have to ask. But it's like, all right, I know she's answered this question as many times as she's done interviews. Like, she's answered those questions. So I just wanted to hear something different.
But if you're writing an article, I see that you want,
you need the answer.
You want the actual quote. So I totally get it. But yeah, it's I don't know, because I kind of like, just for the sake of for the interview itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deirdre Irwin is the one that stands out most to me.
Oh, really?
Because it was totally unexpected. Mm-hmm. She just happened to stand there. She, first response wasn't like overly interested, but then as soon as you mentioned your parents are from Green Bay, where she's from,
yeah,
she's area,
like, all right, let's chat.
And it was such an open, exciting interview, and I don't know, I just really love that. Sometimes it's better not to be prepared for if I see her like this, then we need to ask these questions. It's just more spontaneous.
Yeah. Similar experience with Pascal Paradis. The first time that she stopped to chat with us, we're like, oh yeah, and you were talking about where you're from, and she's like, oh hey, you guys are from home. Let me chat with you guys for a while.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then could have gone really different after she learned that you've had a biathlon crush on her for the last 2 years or so.
In a
fan security sense. Call. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, sorry, no, I don't mean in any weird way.
Yeah.
When you see somebody and they're like, yeah, he's been mentioning your name for the last 2 years.
Longer than that now, I think.
Maybe some people would be like, run.
Nah, I think she was tickled.
Yeah.
Moving on. I wish that we would have gotten a chance to talk to Jacqueline afterwards, because I really wanted to ask him, like, man, when you do that, what's the plan? Like, are you thinking through it, or you're just like, I feel good, let's go? Because I want to know. I want to know what goes on in his head when that happens.
Yeah, and selfishly, I would have, like, if we would have had more like an on the side conversation, I would have liked to talk a little bit about the article I wrote about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I guess that would have been fun for a couple of athletes. And I was when Grosjean walked by.
Yes.
I think if I had been more clear what I wanted to ask her, then she would have probably stopped. I realized only afterwards that basically up till last week, Dexy, the German commentator, I've always thought that the guy who was like interviewing the athletes and doing the analysis with Eric Lesser and Arndt Pfeiffer, in my head, that was always Dexy. And I realized not until a week ago that it's actually the guy in the booth.
Oh.
Which also explains when I yelled, "Hey, Dexy," to the other guy, and started talking about the video getting us in trouble, that he looked confused.
He's like, "What?"
Which kind of, yeah. So imagine somebody you've never seen before calling you by the wrong name and then saying, "You got me in trouble."
He's probably like,
third time security needs to be called.
Yeah, it's like, I have no idea what's going on with these guys. Like, so what are they serving in the media center? Like, can I get some of that?
Yeah. Oh, but
oh man,
the things you learn.
Yep.
Hey, when you're there, yeah, no, or after.
Now we know. Now we know. You were going to ask a question, and I got us totally sidetracked.
Oh, no, it was more if you wanted to move on to sort of some thoughts about the whole season.
Real quick, before we do that, I just wanted to mention Lisa Hauser. Speaking of people where security was not called, where she had the nice race in the pursuit, and we just talked about interactions. I don't remember if we mentioned this last time, but she was walking by us, and we just said like, "Hey, nice race," and like she just had her head down and was clearly on her way out, and she turned around and it was very much like, "Oh, thank you." Like it was just like very pleasant. Like, "Oh, you're welcome."
One of those where we said good race, and she actually had a good race.
Yeah, and like unfortunately, Maya Klutens, who. Yeah, I didn't realize that she had in my head, I was really thinking like, hey, Maya, that was a great season. Like, that's really what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But what came out was, hey, good race. And she finished like 67th. And she's like, are you an idiot? Like, but it's just wrong words,
Intention was good.
Yeah. And before we move on, a couple of people who we didn't mention from the weekend that I just thought that we should. Paulina Batovska-Fialkova, who started in 44th in the sprint and somehow got herself all the way up to 6th in the pursuit and qualified for the mass start. Like she was pretty pumped. That was pretty cool. We didn't get a chance to talk to her, but she was definitely pretty excited about it. I mentioned Lisa Hauser had a good race there. Amy Beserga had a really good weekend. Idalene, I already mentioned. Milena Todorova had a top 10 in the in the sprint. Those are and Lena Hackey Gross. Those are the ones I wanted to mention off the top of my head. And she finished third in the pursuit. And that might have been her only podium of the season. I didn't go back and look, but not a ton of them.
And you mentioned Lisa Hauser.
Yeah.
Wasn't she, like, I was rewatching the last race, the mass start, and it seemed to me she was like, in the first standing shooting, she was like still in second place or something. Like it seemed she was right in there, unless the little name tags in the screen were wrong, but
she may have been. She was having a pretty good race. She was in the first group, so she was in seventh.
Seventh.
Yeah. So she was up there. She had a really good race.
Only 30 seconds.
She closed the season out really well too. I mentioned earlier, and I want to go through these later, but I mentioned I went through and got the top 10 for each trimester. And for trimester 3, she was ninth overall in points earned in trimester 3. So it's not too shabby.
No.
And then on the men's side, we didn't mention, I don't think, Isak Frey. Maybe we did, but he had an awesome weekend where he finished fourth in the sprint and was it fifth or fourth in the
fifth
in the pursuit.
I thought fifth.
Yeah, I mean he was just looked phenomenal, and clearly he has a lot of respect in the biathlon family in general. We heard people talking about how good his form is and how like he's got the potential to be. I mean, you know this just from watching him, but they clearly see it as well. He's got the potential to be really, really good.
Nice race today.
Thank you.
So this is 2 weeks. You're becoming a regular in the flower ceremony. You ready to do this full time next year?
Yeah, hopefully. It's been a great experience now to try myself at the World Cup. So really happy with my race today and yesterday as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it says a lot too about the level of the IBU Cup. You know that you come right up here and are finishing so high up. I mean, how well do you think that prepared you for these races?
I think the level of the Norwegians in the IBU Cup is really high, and we all compete for 1 or 2 spots the whole season. And we have to be at our best to win in the IBU Cup. And I think I do many of the same races now this week. So yeah, I think it's a tough level there as well.
For sure. One of our friends was sitting with your parents yesterday, and she said that your mom got very nervous when you came in for the standing shooting. I don't know. Is she always been that way? Is she one of those parents that just doesn't want to look when you're
I think they're nervous when they watch here live because they don't have control over what I'm doing, and but they enjoy watching, and I enjoy having them here as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
But what I couldn't get over is how small he is. He is tiny. He's just a really tiny dude.
And he looks a lot younger than
he looks about 15.
He is only
yeah. And he looks like he weighs no joke. Like he looks like he's about I don't know. I'm gonna say it in pounds, but he looks like he's like 140 pounds. I mean, I don't know what that comes out to, but if
70 kilos ish.
Yeah, like he's a small dude.
Yeah, especially looking at Stronsheim and the Bow brothers and Sturla Holm.
Most of those guys,
all those guys.
Jacquemelle, like these guys are not like. I mean, Christensen's like a gorilla, but compared to him, but with all due respect, like he's all muscle, but Isak Frey is just a wisp, and he'll grow a little bit, I think, but I don't think he's not going to go a whole lot taller at this point.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Him and Eric Perrault, right, are going to be these two tiny guys.
But Eric Perrault is a bit taller, right?
Eric Perrault is taller. Yeah, he's lean, which I assume he'll fill out at some point.
That was the first. Was it on the training day, the Thursday that we were at the hotel? And let's walk to the range and then walking right behind him, and I don't even remember how we started talking to him, but it was just one of those weird thoughts where, he goes his way and we go our way, and it's like, that was just number 3 in the World Cup.
Yeah, we were just chatting about his season and his potential going forward, and he was just having a nice little conversation. He didn't know who we were. I don't think we had our press passes out. You were just having a conversation. But I could not get over how small his legs are. Especially his calves. They're just small.
He's skinny. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell from how fast he skis, though.
No, not at all.
Which shows you how much technique is involved, or how important that is.
Yep.
Do you remember who said to us that Minkkinen was sort of the prime example of good skiing technique?
I don't remember, but I remember the quote, but I don't remember who said it. Have to go back and watch her.
Yeah. I don't know. I did try to see if there was anything that kind of stands out when I look at her technique, but to me they all seem to have amazing technique. But
the only one who stands out for his technique is Campbell Wright.
Benny Dole and
Benny
Campbell Wright.
Benny Dole, the youngest. But Did you want to move on to season wrap up stuff?
Well, since you mentioned Campbell Wright, unfortunately you had seen that video already, but I was kind of rewatching some races and some other videos on the German web broadcast, and I saw the moment where he wanted to shake Darling, the president's hand when he got the U-23, but
he turned away.
Was just getting the globe first, so he just kind of shook his own hand, and it's like, man, that just sums him up there, right there.
Yeah.
But other than that, we can.
You got me talking Campbell Wright. So one of the things I thought was interesting after the last race, he took a bundle of equipment and stuff over, clearly souvenirs, to the ski guys. I don't know if you saw that, but I don't remember which brand he skis, but right before they go and do their interviews. I think you're right. I think you are correct. Big year for them, by the way. Right before they go up and do their interviews, there are representatives from the different ski groups, and they've got pre-bound skis from the take to be in all the interviews. And he went over and bought a bunch of stuff. I don't remember if it was bibs or what it was, but clearly hey, thank you for everything you've done for me this year. And and then afterwards, when they were out on the snow or on the infield area for just the big celebration, he went over, sought them out, and took pictures with them with the ski jump in the background. So just kind of nice to see him. Yeah. And I saw a couple others doing that too, but just see them saying, hey, thanks for the help this year. And, I genuinely enjoy him. He could be ranked 53rd in the overall, right? And right, he just is a fun guy to have out there, and clearly he enjoys it.
It's really one of those things that you really hope that even when he gets older, that he doesn't lose.
Yeah, and
we'll have to wait and see.
Same thing with the Bow brothers as well, because say you had that experience with Johannes last year, and then again this year, that it was an hour and a half after his race or whatever it was, and he was still out there just patiently answering whatever question we had for him. Which we will make sure we tag into this episode, because they were not the normal questions. And he clearly was just as polite as could be, and he didn't have to do that. He could be just sorry guys, I need to take a shower, whatever, right, and just walk off. But
at least he wasn't on the French team, because I don't think he would have made it as far as our spot.
That is interesting, right? I never saw the Norwegians with a press person, and that doesn't mean that person doesn't exist. I just didn't see them out there.
No, I didn't see them either. No.
In the same way that the other athletes did. And it might just be the simple fact of they are the home team, and so they were sort of expecting to stop at every single stop. So it's all right, this is our duty this time around, but I just didn't see anybody.
Or maybe they just have more media training, or...
If you guys stick around, there are, after I finish up this part, any interview that I didn't find a good spot for in the in the episode. I'm just going to tag them all here at the end. Hopefully they've all gotten interspersed, but I'm just gonna put them in here. There were a bunch of good ones, some fun questions, some silly questions, and I appreciate all of the athletes for taking the time. And
apologies in advance for some of the audio quality, but sometimes it was just a matter of letting the recorder roll and see what's caught. And
that's true. But sometimes,
from what I've heard, it sounded pretty good.
Sometimes we were doing group interviews. Sometimes we were jumping from one thing to the next. So we did our best. And to be honest, they all sound decent. I think you can understand everybody and everything. So thank you for listening. We're going to stop it here. More interviews to come, and then have the season recap episodes coming soon. So obviously we're coming to the close of the season. We have a couple very big prizes to win the rest of the way, but I'm already thinking ahead. You're going to be one of the favorites going into the next year for the overall, but you've also got Tommy Jacomel and Perot, and of course Campbell Wright, Nick Hartweg. So how do you think about maintaining this form going forward, or even what do you work on? What would be the next thing you'd want to add to your game, so to speak?
I feel I'm still improving with the setup I have now, how I train, and it's just about keeping myself healthy, not be sick, and then I improve. So for next year, Olympic season, I will have more focus on staying healthy, not getting sick, and also try to do some things that Johannes is doing with his training, try to get some tips, and I feel, as I said, that things are going well, so I don't need to stir it up too much.
Yes, I agree. Do you feel that with Johannes and Tarjei's retirement, that now you're going to be looked to as one of the real leaders? Do you feel like an ownership of this team now?
Yeah, for sure. I feel that now I need to step up and be the captain, and I'm ready for the role. I already grown my moustache, so
I was going to say it looks great.
So the captain is ready, but I think it's going to be fun. It's a bit younger team than normal, but still, I'm 28, so I guess I'm old.
Well, if you're old, then that doesn't say a lot about me. So,
no, it's gonna. I know that there's some pressure, right, with the situation you're in. Are you aware that you're still racing for the Isolated Pursuit Cup as well?
No, that's not in my mind. It's only about the yellow bib, the big cup, I have in my arsenal. I already have the Pursuit Cup from 4 years ago.
But not the Isolated Pursuit Cup. So that's without the start time.
Oh, okay.
I made a glove for you.
You did?
If you win it tomorrow.
Okay.
So you will be the first one to get that cup. So I don't want to add more pressure to you.
Oh, well, I'll take all the cups I can get. I think the total score is for sure the most important one. So it's not crossing my mind the other cups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question from me, and then we'll let you go. And I know you've probably been asked this question 10 times already, maybe more. When you were coming onto the range for your last shoot, and you knew that Johannes had been clean, and you knew the situation, what goes through your mind in that moment?
I've actually visualized this moment the last days to be prepared, and I needed to just grab the right tool for my mental toolbox. And for today, it was to be calm. I know that the crowd would cheer me up, and I would be pumped from with adrenaline, but to just de-adrenaline myself, if I can say so, and be more calm. It worked really well, and was the key to shoot clean. So it was a solution that I will try to copy the next days.
For sure. Congratulations on a great race, and one step closer.
And it's incredible to be able to decide to go for this way.
Church and Turkey this weekend, so despite you your pressure, because again today.
Yeah, I feel like I deliver my best under extreme pressure, and Johannes really brings out the best athletes. So it was incredible to have this battle with him, and also for me to have to deliver my best. I'm proud of how I did it, and I hope to be pushed in the same way by some other guys in the next years.
Pick 3 athletes then can push you.
Yeah, I
choose
think so.
Choose 3 athletes.
Okay, Eric Perot, Thomas Jacomel, and Isak Frey.
You look a lot more relaxed than yesterday.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thanks.
on, on all the other globes. And this is the isolated pursuit globe that you're the first winner, so you can actually
podcast. Nice.
rub it in his face.
Yeah.
He never won that.
Nice. Thank you.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
And I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
The way you did it.
Yes. Yeah. Incredible. It was the best way to do it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well deserved. Thank you.
Sebbe, nice race.
Thank you.
Real quick, did Campbell say thank you for pulling him along on the last lap there?
I haven't talked with him, but he should.
I agree, he should.
Yeah, he should do it.
Hey, nice one.
Great season.
Ask one question real quick?
Yes.
Probably a question you've answered a lot. I just didn't see the answer to it. I know you talked a lot about how you trained in the Alps all off season. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
Are you doing it again?
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's been a real fun. I mean, people know me on social media because I've been like such a big fan of yours for a couple of years, and like to watch this season was a lot of fun. So I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.